Hello, am I audible? Hello, everyone. Am I audible? Am I audible? Great. I think we'll wait for a minute or two for the people to just come in, and and we will start the live session. I hope everyone has had a lovely week and it's time to relax. Uh, we took up the topic of cervical cancer awareness because this is a cervical cancer awareness month. Even the UICC, which is a union of other cancer societies all over the world, have decided to eradicate cervical cancer. And most of you would not know, but the most common cause of cancer among the ladies in India is cervical cancer. Now, the funniest part is we do not know the cause of breast cancer. We do not know the most of the causes for colon cancer. We do not know why lung cancers are common in non-smokers, but we know what is the cause of cervical cancer. Now, why the UICC has taken up to eradicate cervical cancer is we know the cause, and the cause is as simple as a virus. It's called the HPV virus. It's the human papilloma virus. After the COVID pandemic, most of you have realized that there is no medicine, there is no drug for a viral disease. We can prevent the virus by vaccination, which is what everyone is doing currently. We can prevent uh, the effects of the immune system against the virus, which is why we give steroids and all those expensive medicines in COVID. But we cannot kill the virus. And that is because the viral DNA, the DNA of the virus, integrates with the human DNA. Now, 99.99% of cervical cancers, uh, we find human papilloma virus. So, if we can prevent human papilloma virus, it is but obvious that we can eradicate the disease. Now, earlier, the WHO only suggested using having protected sex to avoid the virus. So, this virus is a sexually transmitted disease, just like any other virus. For example, the HIV, the chlamydia, the gonorrhea, these are all sexually transmitted disease. So is human papilloma virus. So earlier, WHO suggested using condom to have or protected sex to prevent the transmission of the virus. Today, we are having vaccines, cervical cancer vaccines that are available. But these cervical cancer vaccines are advised only between the age group of 9 to 26 in the females. Uh, Ideally, the vaccine should be given before the first sexual contact because we don't know after the sexual contact whether the virus has been transmitted or no. One way to know is to take us take us a pap smear of take us a pap smear and subject it to some liquid test where we can know the presence of the virus. But obviously, we wouldn't do that in a lady who says, I have never had any kind of sexual contact. Now, funnily, the human papilloma virus is also present in the males, which is a very common cause of penile cancer, penile warts. So even among the men, cervical cancer vaccine can be used. This human papilloma virus can also cause anal cancers. A lot of homosexuals suffer from this kind of anal cancer. The pathology is different. I know people would confuse it for rectal cancer or colonic cancer, but anal cancer is very, very specific for the human papilloma virus. There are other causes of anal cancer as well, but one of the causes of anal cancer is the human papilloma virus. Human papilloma virus has also been found in the mouth. It causes the cancer of the tonsils. It can cause the cancer of the hypopharynx. So basically anything to do with some kind of sexual contact. There have also been warts, papillomas that have been found around the lips, around the nipple area. So these are all spread by the virus. So one should not feel shy about asking questions about the virus and the mode of spread, because sex is something that the Indian community, we don't discuss much with our children or with each other or with our spouses or with our friends. But protected sex is something that was advised initially, but now we have the cervical cancer vaccine, and that is why we have taken up the aim or the goal of eradicating cervical cancer vaccine. And it is so easy. The vaccines are available. The presence of any kind of virus can be tested using a simple pap smear. That's all that is required. A pap smear can even pick up early cervical cancers. And all ladies go to a gynec sometime in their life. All that we advise is a pap smear should be done once in 3 years. You don't need to do it on an annual basis. It has to be done just once in 3 years. And this has to be subjected to the test that I've told you, which is just cytology. They examine the slides. And if you really want to know if you have the virus present or no, you can also go for the liquid DNA test. So these things can be discussed with your local physician, your local gynec, sometimes even the oncologist. This is something that you must be aware, because the presence of virus in the lady can come from the man, or from the lady it can be transmitted to the man. Now in the men, for example, the human papilloma viruses can cause penile cancer. For some reason, the prepuce, the outer covering of the penis, it's called the prepuce, and if that has been cut, as in the Muslims and in the Jews which undergo circumcision, the circumcision is supposed to be protective for penile cancer, because the human papilloma virus, it lives on the secretions which comes under the skin of the penis. So penile cancers and cervical cancers are very uncommon among the Muslims and the Jews, simply because the prepuce of the penis is protective against HPV. However, having said all this, cervical cancers are also common in people who have multiple trauma to the cervix. That can be because of multiple pregnancies. So we have seen generally the cervical cancers are common in the young age group, because that's when you're sexually active. So it's common between the age group in India between 25 and 45. However, cancers that arise in the older ladies at the age of 60, 65, 55, 70, it's because of some kind of trauma to the cervix, which leads to the virus inhabiting the traumatic area. So it is very important for one to keep your personal hygiene, the perineal hygiene. even once you have your menopause, it's important to undergo your pap smear. We advise pap smear till the age of 70, 75, and one has to do the pap smear once in every 3 years. So remember, India is the leading cause of cervical cancer. It's very paradoxical because uh, we are every lady goes to the gynecologist. Everyone gets a pap smear. Vaccines are available. It can be easily eradicated. We have done this before. We have eradicated smallpox. We have eradicated polio. We have eradicated so many other diseases in the past. Something that is so easily doable. And unfortunately, we have not been able to get control over the cervical cancer, and that is one of the most common causes of cancer in the ladies. Now we know the causes of cervical cancer. I have discussed how to prevent cervical cancer. I have told you protected sex is one reason, one way. Pap smear is another. Routine gynecological checkups, sonographies, I've already mentioned in my previous videos. They are very important. Other than that, I have also told you the human papilloma virus. It can inhabit the mouth, the pharyngeal area, the nipples, the lips, anal area, the perineal region. Very important to keep your personal hygiene. Let me tell you a fun fact. In the West, where pornography is so common, you have STD clinics for these porn stars. It's mandatory for all porn stars to submit their pap smears, their routine gynecological checkups to the physician. It's mandated by law. So in the West, this is so it is so common. I mean, they have realized it. They do not see advanced cervical cancers. They only see very early lesions, and it is simply because people are not ignorant like us. They know that this can spread through sexual contact. They discuss this routinely with their spouses, with their boyfriends, with their physicians, and they get themselves tested. So it is important for all of you to know that, discuss with your physicians, do your regular pap smear tests. So I have discussed the causes, the preventive modalities, what kind of cancers the papilloma virus can cause, and the cervical vaccine that can be given to young children. Now, once you detect cancer, once you detect the cervical cancer, there's really nothing to worry. It's a very treatable cancer. Very, very early lesions can be treated by a simple hysterectomy. If it's really, really early, if it is in people who have not yet conceived, you do not have to undergo a hysterectomy. You can undergo a laser excision of the lesion if it is very small. Sometimes the removal of cervix, it is called as trachelectomy, that can also be done. Initially, we used to do it with laparoscopy or robotics, but the recent trials have suggested not to go for laparoscopy or robotic, but an open surgery is better than these minimal invasive surgeries. So surgery is the cure for very, very early cervical cancers. If it is an advanced stage cancer, cervical cancers are subjected only to radiotherapy and chemotherapy. There is no role of surgery in advanced cervical cancers. For all those who are listening to me or who would listen to me, and people who do not know what cervix is, you must understand that the uterus, which is the body that conceives the baby, the upper part is called the fundus, the middle part is called the body, and the lower part is called the cervix. So the fundus and the body of the uterus, it lies above the vagina. The vagina is the organ that takes in the semen. The lower part of the uterus, which is the cervix, it projects into the vagina. Now the role of the cervix is when copulation takes place, the semen or the sperm is ejected into the surface of the cervix. Now, cervix has a hole, and through siphoning effect, it takes in the sperm, and only the healthy sperms are able to swim through the cervix. The unhealthy ones are rejected. The cervix has a mucus. It secretes mucus through which the sperm spreads. So only the healthy ones can go in. So if you're born, remember, you've come from a healthy sperm. So it goes through swims through the cervical mucus and reaches right up to the fundus where it meets the egg that has come from the ova. So if you understand what the cervix is, you will understand that the cervix projects into the vagina. So a physician can easily examine the cervix by putting in a finger and seeing any kind of irregularity. We also have a speculum where the speculum is put in through the vagina and the vaginal wall is separated and the cervix is visible. So a pap smear is very simple. Once you put in a speculum, a biopsy can be taken. It can undergo a laser excision once we see it, or it can, like I said, a trachelectomy or a hysterectomy. So these are the treatment modalities of cervical cancer. Now, why this is important is because we as urban educated people, we think this is a cancer of the poor people. Because we are educated, we do not allow any such things to happen. We think that infection of the cervix is something that happens to the poor people. The poor people think that this is a kind of disease that happens in the urban population. We don't indulge in multiple sexual contact. So both these population have some kind of positive thinking towards their own health. The fact is, it's not necessary that the HPV can spread only through sexual contact. It can spread through poor perineal hygiene as well. So one has to remember that. One has to be careful. You have to undergo a pap smear, whether you are in a monogamous relationship or a polygamous relationship. It is important to undergo all these diagnostic cancer screening tests that I frequently mention in my videos. No one can be confident enough to say that in future I will not have cancer because I lead a healthy life. Cancer is just a matter of chance. We try our best to avoid and prevent cancers to an age as much as possible so that you grow into a healthy you have a healthy life till you are alive. Uh, um, like I said, cervical cancer happens in the young ladies, so it generally destroys the emotional, the mental status of the entire family, because a hysterectomy in a young lady will not be acceptable for the male or the female uh, uh, partner. So one has to be careful. So I think I have summed up the things that have to be done for prevention. What you do once you have not taken the vaccine, you have to go for the pap smear, a USG of the abdomen, gynecological examination, and once you get diagnosed with cervical cancer, what other things have to be done. So I'd like to end my session here. If you have any questions, you can put it up on Facebook. You can share my video with your colleagues. I think I haven't spoken anything that is unrelated. It's point to point. Please share it with especially the female colleagues. It's very important. I would wish all of you a happy weekend, and I'd like to end my session here. Thank you.
Any question?
Any questions? I will wait for a minute. You can ask anything that you would want to. Yeah. Somebody's asked a good question. What are the symptoms? The symptoms are generally white discharge, painful coitus. When I say painful coitus, it means painful sex, white discharge, discharge that smells, and fourth is bleeding, either while having sex or without it, which is not the same as the bleeding that comes during your periods. There is always a fall in hemoglobin and it bleeds profusely. If I have to touch the tumor, it just bleeds profusely because it's just tumor that is growing very fast. So these are the main symptoms of cervical cancer. All right. So I'll end the session here. And any questions that you can think about, you can message me on WhatsApp, Facebook, or anything that you find appropriate. Thank you. Have a nice day.